Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to do the announcement, so please, if you've never been here before, even if you have, give me your attention at least, or at least shush it up a bit for me. Give it up for David. He reads these things. Sometimes he makes them performances. Sometimes he makes me jealous. I'm stopping. Go ahead.
And sometimes he makes it jello.
Yeah, well, you know.
Hear ye, welcome to Sacred Grounds with Dan O'Brady as the current host of this, the longest running open mic in the known and unknown universe. Give it up for Dan, give it up for Dan, give it up. Hey,
Thank you.
Serving up good food and fine poetry since 1972. Please support this reading by enjoying the food and drink served here. And let's have a big hand for Teddy and Fiona, our hosts. Poetry of all kinds, ladies and gents, is welcome. But we do ask you to respect the mic. Keep conversations to a whisper. Put phones on mute. Or vibrate. But do not distract the speakers or pass in front of them.
Or pass.
Also, keep to the time limit, usually 5 minutes, but that can change. It might be an eternity. Remember, we've got 2 shows, 7-ish and the 8:40-ish. 7-ish and the 8:40-ish. So I ask for generosity. Give me $1. No. By going short, it helps. Get everyone on the mic. 40 angels on the head of a pin. 30 poets on the head of a mic. If you want to be in the loop, go to Chicago. Sorry, but I can't take you. We've an opt-in email list, a Facebook page, and we stream live. So thanks to the Natch. Mr. Natural.
Without him, it wouldn't happen.
You can view in from home. Family or friends can see you live or later on. If you want to hear so-and-so's poem again, why, you can. Want to do a self-critique? Ha-ha. If you really want to, take it outside. And it is a way to put out the word, yours, mine, ours, minutes, seconds, eons. Remember the ongoing theme. Never doubt that a small group of committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Margaret Mead said that. The evening's theme is, per Sharon Scott Fish, Elk. Just so you know. Also, next week's feature will be...
Next week's feature is Kathleen McClung.
Now, as the first show, the keynote will be...
The keynote is Mr. Owen Dunkel, who is in the house.
While our feature is...
Eileen Malone, who is going to give the Queen's Wave.
As to the second show, the last word will be the Sanderell. The mini feature is me, David. And we have fabulous prizes.
Oh, we also have a special mini, David Zeltzer, who's going to read.
An extra mini.
And he will be introducing a book, yes? Yes, thank you so much. And
be advised.
Okay, now I can do the prizes. Can I do the prize?
Dan will do the prizes. Be advised that Dan will do the prizes.
All right, so from Mr. Sanderell, this is a calendar, but beautiful pictures. And if you know calendars at all, you know that every so many years, they repeat. So if you can have something that's 15 years old, then it'll be good for the year you're in, or something like that. There's some kind of number about that. Same with this one, Ghost Dance, again, beautiful graphics. Now, if you're into being a poet and a writer, as I know some of you are, you might be interested in this little collection of magazines. Then there's Poetic Tremors by Henry Jacob. I don't know who he is, but someone gave me this.
Our feature last week.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
Henry Jacob?
That's his other name.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know nothing. No one tells me nothing about birth and no babies.
You don't know nothing, Mom.
I know nothing. How Hannah Got Her Gun by Elizabeth Creeley. And in case you've seen the movie, but here's the book, The African Queen. Okay. And then there's a couple more while I'm at it, since I'm at it. Dylan Thomas, under Milkwood, and then there is a free artist's consideration thingy, and Altazar, a musical. I don't want it. My wife said it'll fall apart. I said, well, I'll give it away. She said, fine. So okay. So I'm giving it away. And so it's there.
Be advised, all we record the evening. If an audience member wishes to do so, please ask permission. We'll assume you've done so. It should be no recording being made.
Oh, there's others.
other stuff.
Sorry about that.
Other
I
prizes.
forgot. For the
For the illiterati, there is.
The mini feature is one of the prizes. You'll see the mini feature, who is David Erdreich this day. He'll come on the second half and get a nice slot there. The keynote, Owen Dunkel is the keynote tonight. The last word, which is Mr. Sanderell, who kicks off and kicks out the second half. The co-pilot, which is Buford, who's coming over here now. And then choosing the theme or prompt, which Sharon Scott Kish did with elk. Not that I disliked it, but I had a poem about moose, or a moose, and she could have said moose, but she didn't say moose.
Keynote, stand up.
Mr. Owen Dunkel, the keynote, come on up here, and we will get started quicker than you can say Jack E. Robinson. Wait, I already said it. Never mind. All right, let me get you in there. Owen, move it back the other way. You're going to be out of the light. Move it this way, or else you'll have a hard time. There you go. That's perfect. That's good. There you go. Shh. Okay, give him a round, please. He's up there. We're starting. Everything is wonderful in its own way.
I'll read Canto 1 by Ezra Pound. And then went down to the ship, set keel to breakers, forth on the godly sea, and we set up mast and sail on that swart ship, born sheep aboard her, and our bodies also heavy with weeping, so bodies from sternward bore us onward from bellying canvas. Circe's this craft, this trefoil goddess. Then we sat amidships, wind jamming the tiller, thus with stretched tail, we went over sea till day's end, sun to his slumber, shadows o'er all the ocean. Came we then to the bounds of deepest water, to the Cimmerian lands, and peopled cities covered with close wed mist, unpierced over with glitter of sun rays, nor with stars stretched, nor looking out from heaven, swartest nights stretched all over wretched men there. The ocean flowing backward, came we then to the place aforesaid by Circe. Here they did tides, pyramids, and Eucaloas, and drawing sword from my hip, I dug all the L-square pitkin, poured me libations unto the dead, first mead and then sweet wine, water mixed with white flour. Then prayed I many a prayer to the sickly death's heads. We said in Ithaca, sterile bulls of the best for sacrifice, keeping pyre with the goods. A sheep to Tiresias only, a blackened bell sheep, dark blood flowed in the fosse, souls out of Erebus, cadaverous dead, of brides of use and the old who had borne much, souls stained with recent tears, girls tender, men many, mauled with bronze lance heads, battle spoiled, bearing yet dreary arms. These many crowded about me with shouting, pallor upon me, cried to my men for more beasts, slaughtered the herds, sheep slain of bronze, poured ointment, cried to the gods, to Pluto the strong, and praised Proserpine, unsheathed the narrow sword. I sat to keep off the impetuous impotent dead, till I should bear Tiresias. But first Elpenor king, our friend Elpenor, unburied, cast to the wide earth, limbs that we set left in the house of Circe, unswept, unwept, unwrapped in sepulchre, since toil's urged other pitiful spirit, and I cried in hurried speech, Elpenor, how art thou come to this dark coast? Canst thou afoot, outstripping seamen? And he in heavy speech ill fate and abundant wine. I slept in Circe's angle. Going down the long ladder unguarded, I fell against the buttress, shattered the tape nerve, the soul caught Avernus. With thou, O kitchen, and with the name to come, and set my aura that I swung in follows. Then Anticlea came, who I beat off. Then Tiresias, Theban, holding his golden wand, who knew me and spoke first. A second time, why? A man of ill star, facing the sun, and be strong with the blood, and then Odysseus shall return through spiteful Neptune over dark seas. Excuse me. Lose all companions. Then Anticlea came, till 1538, out of Homer, and he sailed by Cyrene, and thence outward and away, and unto Circe, Venerandam, and the Cretans phase with the golden crown, Aphrodite, Grifty, Munimentes, Certitia S, mirthful, Oris Shalchi, with golden girdles and breast bands, thou with dark eyelids, bearing the golden bow of Argicida, so that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Junko. Which canto? What number? Huh? Which canto? What number?
First.
First. Okay.
Sally Love Sanders is next.
Sally Love Sanders. Then we got Britt. Then Covi. How do you say it? Colby. Okay, thank you. Didn't want to. Oh, you got. Okay. And then Edward, Greg, AJ, Morgan Freeman, and Charles Bukowski.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Especially Charles.
What?
Yeah.
You're ready to go. Oh, let me get this organized. Yes, you're ready to go.
On?
Yeah, you're on.
Good to be here.
Woo.
I want to invite everybody to come this Sunday, the 9th, Cultural Integration Fellowship at 11 o'clock. It's an open mic, and there'll be wonderful refreshments. It's free. Dan's been, David's been. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, I've been.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
These
So
are
y'all
the
come, y'all
relevant
come.
flyers, and there's flyers up here to be had later on.
So y'all come.
Y'all come.
Y'all. I feel like a poem coming on. Like going to sneeze. Quick, I need a pen and paper before my poem spurt all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just trying to turn the page. I wasn't like begging for applause.
We're quick on the draw sometimes.
You don't have to beg, it's already there.
Writing poetry, inspiration. I'm writing poetry like coughing with inspiration. I can't stop. Write. Nothing can stop it, not even water. Just have to write until finally I stop. I admire travelers who are neatly contained all the time. Me. My stuffing is always out, shoelaces untied, losing my hat like an old stuffed animal am I, with the eye hanging down by a single string. But my smile's always intact. Happy sun tossing diamonds on the ocean, diamonds laughing on young girls' slumber party. Laughter echoes to other sparkly ripples in the water. Palm trees standing tall. Palm trees standing tall, fingers of branches doing sign language to other palm trees, talking, giggling. Healing event. Sun setting, wounds healing of earth's pain. Tomorrow a new day, pain healed. A healing event of waves, wind, and cool breezes, singing healing rhymes. Days is feeling tucked in for the evening. Calm returns. Thank you. I'm a bits and pieces writer, living my life, doing my activities. Then when least expected, I write. And I write, as if I'll never stop writing. Writing sneaks up on me and unpacks when I'm still and not expecting it. This I wrote at Mountain Lake Park. Ballet dancers, branches weaving very tight silk dancer tights. Twisted arms becoming legs, and legs becoming arms. And legs of other limbs of other dancers, and intermingling with other tree branches of other dancers. The audience, solemn trees, looking down in the park. Today, the clouds are nibbling away at the mountains. No longer can I see the tops of the mountains. I love to breathe deep of nature's expansive beauty, breathe all green beauty into my lungs and system, energizing my motor, lubricating my pain, making new and whole. These are all pretty recent, so I'm really glad to have the opportunity to share them. Ballet dancers. Ballet dancer branches wearing very tight silk dancer tights. Arms becoming legs and legs becoming arms, intermingling with other tree branches. The audience, solemn trees, looking down in the park. Waterfall showering me with stardust liquid, washing my body of city fungus, chanting, relaxing, oh.
Yeah. Stop that. Okay.
Waves rolling over waves. My thoughts thinking over thoughts, repetitive but variations. Waves tumbling to shore gives me energy. Back off in the distance, memory waves. Here, foam. Poetic gushing. Poetic gushing. Poetic gushing out of my pen like gorging waterfalls tumbling onto the waiting soil.
Sally, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. I'll see you on Sunday, this Sunday.
It's I've been to these things fairly often. It's beautiful, relaxing, wonderful, nice little luncheon thingy,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, they
it's,
feed you well too.
Yeah.
it's beautiful. Great setting.
Does anybody want a flyer?
Yeah, and I have other flyers up here in case you don't get one, so. Who is the next?
Brett Peter.
Britt Peter!
He knows.
And then Tavi, Edward, Greg, AJ, Seamus Haney.
Just a tad of
Seamus
politics to start.
Oh.
Van time. Toss kids in a van and leave them there while Homeland Security and ICE do the paperwork. Hot Texas night in July. Tell me there isn't a note of sadism in these protracted, contracted acts of malevolence.
Yeah.
Okay. The theme is elk. Elk Song 1. Elk needs a meadow to sing in. Elk, unsure of his talents, wants to be Tita Rufo, Ezio Pinza, and Gallicurci all at once. Try it again, the rounded note. Oh, Jesus, broken windows, cars running into telephone poles, students ducking under desks. Elk needs a meadow to sing in. All right. Elk Song 2. An elk came to sacred ground one night to sing. He took some time to tune his guitar. It was a sonic event of great importance. An English professor from USF was there to take notes. The rustic bellow was well received. On a more serious note with elks, bull elk, wilder than I thought or imagined. Bull elk tearing up the countryside, bellows, barks, and bugles. Something more deadly than lust on his mind. A high-powered rifle, shiny barrel and scope. The bull elk keeps moving behind a bramble of trees. Elk story, man's story, a tangle of antlers, sportsman in camouflage, a wet dream of the NRA.
Kobe, this is her first time, ladies and gentlemen. Come on! Singer, songwriter, performer extraordinaire, known far and wide for being known far and wide.
I don't have a. I'm just gonna sing and sing without a mic. Is that
Oh yeah,
okay?
yeah. We can move this down low for you, and then you can play the guitar and then sing some, or however you want to do it.
All right.
And let me just focus you in the way you might like. Okay, or the way I might like, so I can record the whole, as my mom would say, the whole shoot match and shebang. Here, maybe move it. All right.
Hi, my name is Kobe. First time here. Thank you for having me. I'm originally from Spain, but I've lived in San Francisco for 20 years. And I always loved music, but I've recently started playing and writing my own songs. So I'm gonna play one that's called Miss San Francisco that I wrote recently. Here she comes, ready to fly, dancing shoes on, hair up high, her eyes are shining, smile is wide, heart still broken, but she still tries. Walked into a smoky room, following the neon sign, down to someone
mic cue to the honorable microphone, please. I think that's about right. We shall see. How you doing, Ed?
Pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Yeah, very much. Yay.
There we go. That way I can illuminate you correctly, my dear.
Eliminate me?
Well, that comes later. Illuminate.
later.
We'll start with illumination, then get to elimination.
Yeah.
Depends on what you eat, though, I guess.
Yeah. Peter Kyshak's ham sandwich. The women of my mom's time would never say shit, but they might say shite. Even then, only shite when they were on their very last nerve. I recall the explanation of not saying shit. That why would you say a word like that and not put what it represented into your mouth? Well, I might have had an answer, but I was smart enough to keep that mouth shut. Well, in my generation, born 1937, we are not so strong about that, even as many would still err on the side of reticence. My dad, Jack, never swore, believing that it was a good thing to have a wide vocabulary, even though he never flinched or cared when his pals or others did it. My older brother, David, memento mori also, could be sarcastic with his pugnacious vocabulary that went way beyond ordinary common swearing, but it could prove Dad right about a big vocabulary. I remember a time when a little neighbor boy, Peter Kyshak, I guess he was about 4, started swearing a blue streak. Words he heard who knows where, and his lovely, wonderful mom, Carolyn, talked to him very carefully into saying, when you feel that bad, say ham sandwich. When he was over the top angry. Then I recall my mother, Ruth, coming home, chortling, and telling how Peter got so mad at his mom, Carolyn, that with his face empurpled, the fists tight at his sides, and with such an evil look at his mom, lifted his little head and into his mother's face and uttered, ham sandwich. And she, the dear, long-suffering mom of so many kids, slapped his face. There is just so much a mom, however modern, can take. And of course, moms thus in end defeated. Peter Kyshak's ham sandwich. That boy is now somewhere in his late 60s, might be 70 now. I bet he was in his 60s. It might be 70. This is a little sort of a jingly thing that I know you don't mind jingles. Mr. Lavender Ears. Your eyes are blue, hands are too, feet are green, toes are sparrows, and in between them in the narrows are tiny fairies. Ears all lavender, nose a twitching, mouth is smiling, chin a tilting, up to the bright sky. You breathe and sigh, your birthday's mounted 75. Joy's alive, give out a cheer, then give another. Every sister, every brother, hear Mr. Lavender Ears. We hear your stunning smile. And this is called the Ark. Somewhere recently I've referred to this place as the Ark, was 1200 Masonic, where a bunch of us lived in a 2-floor flat going back now 50 years. And as the magical island you come to for a time, and in the end leave it in timeless personal narratives, the islands in fate lines. As Jan Kant wrote, the Forest of Arden is a place in which all dreams meet. It is a dream and the awakening from dream. There is no clear-cut proof of what a generation, usually 20 years when I was coming up, but now seems as adolescents to have gotten less, maybe 14 years even. Our day in the arc was shorter even, and seems now a perplex entity and maybe a lucite sculpture. As in As You Like It, our time over that time now seems to have been a poetic whim. And it seems rock solid in memory, though, clear and hopeful, giving my memory buds a giddy up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Edmund Michaud. The Honorable. Yeah, this is Greg. Not Greg Pond, the other Greg. There's another Greg here. Ah, there we go. Come on up. This is not your first time, right?
No.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's right. I remember him now. I remember now. It all comes back to me like the hot kiss at the end of a wet fist. It's not my line. I didn't make that one up. Ah, the Honorable Mr. Rob. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm going to save this. Okay, so, all right, I'm going to focus in on where you are. So these are, there we go.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Greg. I actually have played here on and off, of course, since
Okay, yeah.
in 1999, so I'm not new. Microphone stands are really out to get me. So, yeah, I just started out. I just started playing open mics again. I was on a heavy recording kick and all that. And then, so I commonly get pretty nervous and beat my guitar. And people tell me, oh, that was a nice song, but I couldn't really understand the lyrics.
You know they'll all be there on the catwalk in the sequin sexy stare, shimmy and sashay, all the DJs play tunes. We acted like we cared. Tastes like gossip, throw your hair. You're the queen, I declare. The spotlights, they are shine on you. Indian summer song, I might see you on the coming down. Well, put your best dress on for me tonight. Well, it may be wrong, but the story has already been shot, and all we got is life. song for me tonight.
That song is, I think some of you may have been in the city for a little bit, maybe. But that song is about Marlena's bar, and it was written when I was playing along with her, recording a memo on my phone, and then she's gonna die soon. She's like 80 and get kind of frail and everything. Marlena's like the head drag queen of this classic drag bar that was in Hayes Valley, and that's what it's about. Put on your face. It's envisioning her funeral. It's also about like the end of a relationship because I wrote it when I was. It's also about the end of a relationship because I wrote it when I was breaking up with. Well, I guess mutually, or maybe she broke up with me. I don't know. My girlfriend and I were breaking up. So. Is that it?
Yeah.
Time was? Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, thank you. All right. Okay, Julian. Oh, Julian! For crying out loud! Woohoo! Hey, 3 guitars in a row almost. Is that 3 in a row? Yeah. New record. This is Julian, and we call him that because that's his name.
It is, as far as y'all know.
Well, as far as I know. And what do I know? That's what my mom used to say. What do you know? Almost any time she felt like, what do you know? I'd say, but Mom, it's some simple math. Yeah, what do you know? That was one of her go-to lines. I never knew what she meant by that.
I guess I will sit down. All right.
Yeah, you can do that. I can just zoom in on you and like that. And as they say in France, c'est tout à l'heure. I don't know why that doesn't. It's not
Shut the
appropriate.
door. Shut the window. I don't care.
No, that's je t'adore.
Yes, I look.
And Modilon,
like
that. I shouldn't say that. Probably French people listening are going to get sued.
So this, this is called Poor Joanna. On the bloody coat hanger, 6 weeks after that party at Alabama State, where you were out on a date with some guy you thought was pretty great, except you can't quite remember his name, but you'll never forget his prideful face. You were nervous about a bio final you had the next day, but he offered you another drink and you decided to stay. And even though your memory's a little fuzzy and not straight, you could have sworn on that night that drink had a funny and odd taste. But he told you to trust him, baby, and it'll be okay. So you looked around and you saw your girlfriends are in the other room, so you assumed that they'll keep you out of trouble and they'll keep you safe. So you decided to believe in him, which wound up as your biggest mistake. Because you woke up the next day as a victim of a cruel twist of fate. Because nobody would believe you were a victim of rape. Because he's an All-American with a 3.8 GPA, whose daddy's the assistant DA. Meanwhile, the naysayers and victim blamers all look at you and what do they say? They take one gaze at you and they launch shame at you, toss shade at you. Even though they're nothing but strangers to you, they speak as if they were you, and whatever they say is true. Like, oh, well, if you weren't asking for it, well, maybe you shouldn't dress that way. Oh, well, if you weren't begging for it, maybe you shouldn't leave your legs left splayed. Oh, well, if you weren't hoping to get it, maybe you shouldn't leave your kitty on display. Now it's 6 weeks later and you're still running late. So what I'm meaning to say is, I know that it's too late. I know I'll never muster up the fucking balls to say it straight to your fucking face, but I'm sorry that I made your coat hanger bloody and stained. Poor Joanna, down in Alabama. Poor Joanna, down in Alabama.
leave behind. Poor Joanna, down in Alabama. Poor Joanna, we down in Alabama. Poor Joanna. Woo!
Wow. Julian.
So it's AJ, then Owen, then Judamon, then
You skipped me.
what? Wait a minute.
I think I got Julian.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
we skipped AJ. I'm sorry.
We goofed
Are you guys
that.
good? Did you
No, no.
did you add me on?
We got
Am I out of the picture? Am I out of the picture?
All right, yeah,
Oh.
we're good. All right.
Yeah. Skippity doo dah, skippity, skippity me loo. Jeez Louise, me going off my knees. So this is an attempt to summon someone. I'm trying to summon someone who's in deep emotional sorrow. Emotional sorrow and pain I can feel in the distance. I'm not sure, I don't really know him too well yet, so I'm going to be very careful how I summon and release this individual for the proper cause, proper reason, I suppose. So don't take this all as from a view as I start off from a perspective of Christianity, because it's meant to be from many perspectives, but it may appear to be from a Christian origin. So I guess let's just start with, because it's a summoning movies. So it's a breath of, one breath, the breath of an angel of light. How many times can it fly? Free will has to live. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Glory be to the Father, to the Son, to the Holy Ghost, to our Holy Ghost, as it was in the beginning, as it is now, and as it ever shall be, world without end. Amen. This is where I can't stop it. I don't know what's going on, man. Stop. He's coming. He's coming. Brace yourself. Brace yourself. It fucking doesn't matter. It's inside out. Doesn't matter who he is. You know why? Because he's strong man. Strong man needs to chill, man. We gotta figure out who he is before anything goes down. But you know who you are. Everybody knows who they are. But strong man's deeply emotionally twisted. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's just twisted, man. Strong man. Strong man. I'm a man, so strong man. Strong man is kind of gender not specific, because if you're a straw man, like a wolf man or a man, it's just man being entity. Straw man, he's coming soon. He's coming from deep from the shadows. Deep from the shadows. Really good from the shadows. Straw man's being summoned. Straw man's summoning, actually. So when we get to know this individual, we're going to find out what's happening. I'm not sure I know him very well yet, but I'm getting to know him, and I know he's very emotionally, deeply distraught right now for good reasons. So when we figure out what's going on, if I can remember the rest of this bit, something that might get got before it gets get. Giggity, giggity. Right? Strong woman. So you know what you are because you're using the wrong particular tense. So you say my name. Say my name. Origin. What's the origin of this particular? Don't think of it as a Christian origin altogether, because that flips the script real fast depending on the situation. But maybe, possibly, for the powers that be can see. So stop.
For the straws that straw man.
Owen, then Nudemon, then me, then Vincent, then our feature, and give Owen a nice round. Just so you know, the keynote always comes back to do their own work later on, as we like to call it. And Owen's coming up now. And Ray Milland has sent his regrets, as has Bob Hope and Nanette Fabre. Nanette Fabre. Very important.
Dead Actors Society.
Yeah. There we go. You're on, Owen.
A Clary Who, so Clary Who. A day set to music, always an occasion. A Clary Who. A joy today to make the way, lasted, fasted, take and give, there is the way we go, do and don't, more I say. Blinders. A blind man walks away, arrows of fortune do say more than words. Chance meeting, take a weird stance. Life. A blast from the past, ran past nuance after nuance, and say more to nobody. History seemed to care for the good, seemed to scream. After Robert Duncan, Black Veil brings you in touch with the self and selfhood that is with humanity. Cries fill the air as the lash comes down, bringing a gesture to heaven. A Clary Who of cliches, say more to the novice of riches, do more, do less, alleviate stress, do more to pain, strain, duress. Vortex. A dog day of the calm wind, a linear vortex, interstices of a divine one. Emotions that are as perishable as food left out on a hot day. One thought flies by in a second. I wish I could grab it with my hand as though it were a housefly and put it in my back pocket. But it is only a word, just a word out of my mouth, not an object in the universe. It has expressed myself out of my mouth and has flown up to a star, where it is like the angel it was meant to be. A horror poema. At the dark of the poem, the hour of sunlit language within me lurks and drools. Within me lurks the confusion of a true confession. Where is language, the communion of connoisseurs to go? It is poor with expensive tastes. My talk is cheap as cheap wine. North Beach in the quavering sunlight, a sunny day like a sharp tongue. People assure themselves the world is flat as a language that walks a straight line. A quiet poem on a noisy day, after William Carlos Williams. Waves Restaurants, the Bay Street Mall, funny looking shops, wives with their babies, as I gawk my way among the busy tourists, a slick gash of real life as a papier-mâché sea captain goes down with his ship. The SS, the curio shop, with painted white t-shirts saying that you are as passive and as content as the lapping waves of aquatic park.
Thank you, Mr. Owen. One, go! Now, Nudemon before me. And before James Aloysius Valtazel McMilligutty.
Nah. 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 Nah.
There was a time of the Great Rut. The running is coming. Nah. Ain't nothing like a rut, you see. All year long, I waited to grow these. Yeah. Nah. You ever been in Yellowstone? In way up yonder in October when there was a great rut, and all you all here, you punk. Wait till I see you doing the great rut, you see. Oh, let me sit down here a minute. Doing the great rut. Nah! You ever seen an elk? He broke his horn. Because he rammed it in his side, and I rammed him back. And I rammed this and rammed that one. And all she just did is says, I know you want some of this. And they said, nah! Rut! Doing the great rut, you see. But you think the elk is rough. The bison. But we ain't talking about that great elk. Nah! I smell her. I smell her. What? You smell her too? What? I smell her. Doing the great rut. Nah! 5 miles away. Nah! That's all we heard it doing the valley. And clacker, clacker, clacker. I smell her. A mile, 10 miles away. I'm coming. Nah! I smell her. Oh, I can't help it. I can't help it. I can't help it. Right here, he broke his antler. Broke his antler. But he still went humping her. Wait till the springtime come, but the rut will come again. Nah! Doing the great rut, you see. Come. It's all quiet now, but come October, November, doing the great rut, you'll hear a clanging and a banging from over yonder, and then you see the mountain go away. Wah, 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 wah. That didn't hurt, man. Didn't hurt you, no, man. But elks are cool. They stand like this and look good. And the ghosts go, wah! Man, you guys think y'all something, know the elk till the other go. But I smell her. 20 miles away, I smell her. Because the season of the great rut is here. And what we do, I went walking down the road one day and I found an apple herd. And I held it up. We held it to the great sky of the great Elk Nation during the grading of the rut. After the rut, we collect antlers. When I was in the Boy Scout, we went around collecting antlers. Boy Scout. Gotta watch Bernie. Bernie always was looking. But during the great rut, you seen? Nah!
right.
That was the theme.
Thank you. That was the theme. He covered it rather well. Added in goats. Buford, am I okay? Am I focused in?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Focus. So this is what passes my sense of humor and good news. The first one is, it's there's good news in there. It's hard to see, and the second one's even more opaque than that. So here we go. Light, light, light. From the start of this universe until now, there has always been the light. Clearly, it is an essential factor, for what else do we all come to eventually and aright but the light, light, light. No thing overshadows this. It's what moves this poor body, causes my fingers to trace such moments as this, counsels the passion coursing my heart well, and what so enlivens my giddy soul tonight but the light, light, light. Terms cannot describe or contain this. Actions provide mere indications. Lyrics might bear it so long as breath bears them. Nothing temporal can truly be seen without it, and all things eternal are made up only of it. What else moves us within so as to create without, passing for inspiration, sight but the light, light, light. And so in the deep cold world of winter, when sullen, lifeless, and leaden heavens occlude the hope of celestial bodies, when the landscape beneath is set in a monochromatic display, yes, fish may still seize the day beneath their ice, yes, furtive burrowing survivors do abide, and the heart of an owl harbors its heated blood as it wings down silently after sighting its prey. Dark talons clutch the unwary or luckless where blood spatters on moonlit white. What else rules there but the light, light, light? What muffles the bell better than distance and time? What rings it ever clearer to echo in the mind? What the message it means to send all these years later? What do I do by telling you this? Why do such words as these make their way here? What causes my spirit to soar, my heart then mind to quicken? What makes a difference, no matter how seemingly slight, but the light, light, light? When death is no longer that distant, dismissed threat, but present, promised, and immediately certain, your intimate companion, if you will, waiting on you, so to speak, hand and foot. What will move until that very last? What makes its essential difference felt? What else is there to keep in sight but the light, light, light? That has buried optimism, and this is even more inclusive than that. Worlds, and this is for Carlos Ramirez, who is up there on the wall right there. He never heard this, but I know he would like it. I hope anyway. Carlos. Oh, my friends, there are worlds and good ones. Beautiful worlds, so wondrous and full of marvels as to make one weep. There are worlds where peace is all there is, and nature is let to run rampant. The verge is rank with skies and seas full of life. Animals who see your soul's light with hearts innocent of fear or rage. There are worlds gowned in clouds of delight, graced with rivers of love, where ranges upon ranges of emotional peace rest under the glowing countenance of their moons dancing in the firmament. Worlds such as songs are made of, as epic poems might suit, where painters upon an overlook could look at a life's work spread before them. Where God is happy. Life tame, and where we'd all be glad to be, were we there instead of where we are, dazed and confused by our own earthly illusions. I say forsake fight and flight, let go of want, our past history's unending sorrow, poor reasoning, and martial drums. For there are worlds this Poor scribbler asserts, no artist could hope to convey without a proper preparation, a long, restful life of enjoyment, a million-year picnic. Then they could provide a semblance of one such world. So I tell you, this is a magnificent universe, well made and fit for who but us? Well, or those of our kind. It is like the mystical Ganges with its endless beaches, with each glowing sand grain a full repository of galaxies strung like beads set in a glowing firmament of stardust. So there are worlds. And then there's us. And our longing, our song, so profoundly deep and unending that even this grand universe and all of its works couldn't possibly contain it, or so I feel. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And now Vincent C. coming up here, and then we got Eileen, our feature of the evening, who I will introduce in such a manner as to honor her in all
Couple of
things.
announcements. Did Julian already leave? So just so you know, Julian is going to be a featured poet for Poetry for the People this Sunday, 4 o'clock, Adobe Books, Kim Shucks, Gears Turning.
Yeah.
He's very humble, so he will be, Poetry for the People from City College San Francisco will be featured at Gears Turning. Also, tomorrow, starting at 7 a.m. through 11 p.m. at Manny's, 16th of Valencia, civic leaders from around the Bay Area will be reading the entire Mueller report live. And it includes our supervisor here, Hillary Ronan. I'm going to read. It includes Susan Solomon, president of the United Educators of San Francisco.
I know her.
Hillary Ronan, Raphael Mindelman, Dr. Haydar Avram from the professor of criminal law at UC Hastings. It's going to have Jose Antonio Vargas, the Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist and undocumented immigrant, and it goes on and on. Christine Pelosi will be there at noon reading, and it goes on and on. It's going to be, and they advise you to come, bring your social media, they will give you tripods, and let you go live with whoever you want to stream to.
What's the location?
Manny's, corner of 16th of Valencia.
You're gonna have a live feed to Trump?
Oh, that'd be great. Or maybe the Cheeto Factory. Okay.
All right.
All right, I'm starting. Okay. So on Sunday. This is another poem dedicated to our good Tommy in the back there. I wrote this on Monday. It's called The IPO Circle of Life and Death. The initial public offering went live and in prime time. An offering for cisgender straight white males need only apply as she continues to put pennies in a jar and pray daily to Our Lady of Guadalupe just before leaving to clean hotels downtown, with a fresh notice tacked to her front door near the 14 Mission bus line. They gathered at their open office space at Mid-Market, breaking a new weekly goal of 1 million and cracking open a $500 bottle of whiskey the second time this month, as he stands with his pit bull puppy, no leash. He's 750 deep, daily, weekly, monthly, every day, for his 29-cent offering at the corner of Taylor and Glide Memorial. Him and his family have met the streets twice, once in the forgotten Fillmore days, and now along Tech Row and Multimedia Gulch. He ran for mayor, touting his plan. His initial public offering came in TV commercials and in print, delivered to us starting like this: elect me and this is what I'll do. Give tax breaks to them all who will populate those areas that have befallen. But no one was there to think or believe that there were others already there. And by the end, they'd be evicted, shoved out in the streets so that a millionaire and his freshly minted IPO could walk by and roll his eyes, turn away in disgust, taking no responsibility as his personal driver, who left San Francisco, priced out, and now lives in Sacramento, picks him up for his real estate appointment to buy a soon-to-be Ellis Active building at 18th and Mission Streets. And here's another kind of eviction going on. This is called Buckets of Rainwater. Proudly, he awakens his 3 youngest at dawn. They'll share eggs, herring, and tea. Zeb, his oldest, won't visit from his conscription in Sinai for another 3 to 4 months, while an opaque gray of sadness clings to the walls, and his wife Sedge's ashes sit above the makeshift mantle. Her lungs first, then her uterus, metastasizing the entire family, and her parents now no longer allowed to travel with the pedestrian crossing closed. He remembers their weekly visits for groceries and toilet paper. The store owner Elon sat with judgment like Ezra the scribe when he held her hand in the tight aisles waiting in line for her medications. No hair left under her kimar, yet he would mumble under his breath, "See, they are weak, they even kill each other." Elon died a year before her, liberating them from the weekly curse of Ezra. His business was forcibly closed by decree. He could no longer buy or sell supplies to the West Bank. The tributary of walls have assured him it's forever. He's still confused that he no longer sees the love for humanity his parents instilled in him from crib to classroom, home to Sabbath, Mediterranean to Dead Sea. He looks forward to his children's sleepy eyes and shuttering the windows for the night. He will sip a small glass of Eric after their feet have lifted and are tucked away quietly in the far bedroom. An array of dogs barking and movement of armored vehicles can be heard in the distance. He holds on to his resentments like springtime buckets of water near Gaza Strip, as the tattered Star of David flies solemnly above and dangles tarnishing in 14 karat around his neck. Everything that falls from the sky like droplets of hate are owned by the promise, but his feelings are all his own. He says, so long as they persist in hatred of the other and the insistence on maintaining the seclusion, they are helping to create a group of people that do not belong to either one of 2 nations, and love is forbidden alike.
Thank you.
One more.
That's
the theme. Thank you, Sharon, for the theme. You got me to sit down, and thank you, Richard, for encouraging me. This is called The Riverbed of the Great Elk, and thank you, Dunamon. Wow, what an interpretation. Riverbed of the Great Elk.
The alarm went on.
I know.
It's okay.
My name is Wapiti. My cousin is the white-tailed deer. My ancestors' velvet coat and antlers have been spiritually revered in medicines, and some prefer me to fowl and bovine, slicing my kind from fascia to skin, bone to organ. We are never wasted. My grandfather was hunted down last year before he could shed his momentous antlers. The season of the orange vest and long gun have been extended by the swampy marshes of Washington, D.C. It's been said Grandpa Service Eliphas was quite the fighter when a rut was laid down, and his voice could be heard for miles during a bugling. Today, I still get to slowly lap the clear rushing water through Yellowstone, but I must wait later and later each year. And before long, the now greening blue waterways, I'm interrupted by the iron wasps flying overhead. They have become more frequent because you now visit year-round. They leave behind what pinkens the sunset sky, but kills the tall grass I feed on for sustenance and what sweetens a mother's milk. The chill in the crisp October night has become more frequent, expecting to last through late May or early June. We have lost many in our herd this winter, and rumor is we are not alone. Your reintroduction of gray wolves have been particularly gruesome, and my frenemy, the brown grizzly, sleeps until his normal March emergence, but is unable to plunge through the icy waters for a brookie trout or two because now they don't visit until late April. Something seems off thrice in the air and in and upon the ground. We are curious of the changing seasons too. Too cold and longer winters and a heat that mauls my fur in the summer, and you now run us down, shoot us dead for an hour or two. Then notch our ears and tag them with bright yellow squares. We hear it is to keep us close. It's been said for centuries here on the plains that when the flowers can no longer pollinate, and my family is reduced to only a few hundred along the riverbeds, the upright walkers will be concerned. I ask you, will it be in time? Thank you.
All right, one of my favorite portions of the evening is to introduce the feature. It's one of my privileges, which I enjoy to no end. Speaking of no ends, the person that's about to read can speak of eternity, can speak of space, can speak of matter, and it is all connected, and how it's connected, and why it's connected, and what runs through it all. Everything is connected in Eileen's view. Nothing is separate. There is no separation. There is only one life form. Now people might say, oh, that's so hippy-dippy. But it's not. There is nothing that separates you, the heart of you, or the mind of you, or any tiny part of you, from any other part in the universe. When you think about that, there is only nothing between you and the end of the universe. Nothing. Zero. Zip. It's all connected. Everything is together. And she has a voice that speaks from that perspective and others. She's a very variegated kind of poet. Lots of different things she covers. And it's really, really, truly beautiful. I'm honored to have her here. Eileen Malone, why don't you come on up here and just do the thing you do so well.
And you've got to speak sort of like right into it. Of course, you and Paul. Let me make sure this looks good.
Hello. Good?
Yeah, the sound is good. And now, there you go.
First of all, Dan, thank you for all you do. You're steadfast and selfless giving of yourself to keep poetry alive. I just appreciate you so much. And I know many do.
Thank you so much.
And because it's late and we've been listening to an awful lot of poetry, I'm going to read you some of my more accessible stuff that you'll enjoy in your seat, sitting, listening. And it's okay if you laugh. This is called Bottom Drawer. Searching the bottom drawer of his desk for a rubber band, I find paper clips, Band-Aids, a box of condoms, a spiral-bound notebook with half the pages torn out, a box of condoms, TV remote controls from TVs long gone and dumped, a box of condoms, a pencil in need of sharpening, a dirty, worn eraser, hard, useless. I believe I'll stop here, where it matters, here, because there's no such thing as a finished poem. I know about bravery. I know pilots don't fall out of open cockpits even when the plane turns sideways or flips forward. Momentum holds body against seat firmly enough to counter gravity's pull. No, for the vermouth of foreign streaming skies to move over me
like cosmic oceans of wine, there is such a thing as being too careful. If I give in to my fears, believe I am insufficient, if I don't push gently against pictures of what has been learned, then discarded, the edges cut off and the rest mutilated, I will turn around too early. Each time I will turn back sooner. One day I will turn back before even taking off. I know how weakness fossilizes in the heart, works as a weight against flight, jams my lift to leave. I know about bravery and why I must keep flying into wildernesses of mirrors hung with still wet paintings of instrument gauges. I must keep flying until the ponderous falls from me, caught like an insect in resin, honey lit at its center. All I don't know I've hidden. And finally, amber of heart, I will begin my slow descent to the dark, cluttered landing strip that, seeing me approach, will rise up brilliant with my flaws, blazing with my defects, and all lit up to welcome me. This is called Black Dahlia. When Judy, with an I, as she likes it spelled in lowercase, writes to prison inmates chosen from websites where they post picture and profile, she explains how she understands how important it must be to hear your name at mail call. Sends a photo, a black dahlia from the movie, pinned behind her ear, waiting to be plucked. She begins a lettership, asks if he wants to make room for hope, allow for friendship, encourages him to learn to cook, to sing, to read the Bible, offers a relationship, respect, dignity, money to cover the cost of stamps and pens, everything but what he is in for. Knows the comfort in what is avoided, the absence of deceit in what isn't spoken, praises his attempts at rhyming love poetry, his words that drop out from the pages like puffs of cockroach wings, flourishes the end of each encouraging page with a biblical quote and a smiley face, uses ridiculously large loops in her P's and G's, dots the I in Judy with a little star. When the marriage proposal comes, and it always does, and she declines firmly but sweetly, on pink notepaper, folded into a pink envelope dusted with rose-scented talcum powder, her flourished name underlined with O's and X's for hugs and kisses. She shuts down the old post office box, opens a different, new one, photoshops a new portrait once again, turning the dark tumor emerging from the right side of her brain into a black dahlia that waits to be plucked. Then she checks the updated websites for new prison inmates, looking for a new pen pal.
I love that one.
I'm sorry I'm doing this. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know if anybody else goes through this or not, but when I know I'm going to be giving a reading with lots of other people reading, I kind of would like to read stuff that kind of fits in with what's going. If everybody's on an up and a high, I try to read more happy stuff. If everybody's relating to depth and feeling, then I go for my dark stuff. But I never know till I get here. So that's why you see me going back and forth. And that's why my husband says to me, can't you plan it ahead of time? No, I can't. I can't. All right. This is her ride. Pierced, tattooed, and tight, in handkerchief top and low, and I mean low, slung jeans slipping down her angst. She gets her young body up from its squat before the stage to perform her Puce Street rage in patchouli cedar poetry that has barely been skirted before. Paperless poetry, memorized or ad-libbed as it goes. Her friends in the back of the room hoop and call back in chorus, yay, right on, fucking A. She yells, screams scarlet, rocks back and forth, won't take it anymore, ever again. Fuck you, fuck all of you, feet stomping, bellowing, cheering. She bells, gyrates, bumps and grinds, hollers about migrant farm workers, warmongers, pink, bald, corporate CEOs. Oh, see the EOs, the assholes for what they are. She wants a rough sex affair with Ferlinghetti or McClure or someone equally old, beat, doesn't care, who knows it. Wants to be lustily mentored into famous poet status now at the height of her youth and beauty. So she can then leave her old poet and run off with a younger, upcoming chapbook publisher to live in Greece or Sicily for a summer, drink cheap wine, write Pulitzer Prize-winning cryptic bilingual cantos. The poem finished, spent. She dismounts, heads for the door, enters the scream of a siren as it passes. Someone follows, hey, wait up, slow down. But there's a term paper to write, and her ride has to be home before midnight. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It was me. I stole one of your roses. Never before had I seen such a pink spill of skin-cold petals, such a gray wash of cobwebs on spiced thorns, such early evening sea fog. The fact you were inside watching television, oblivious to your own abundance, right there in your front yard. The scent, sweet Jesus, the blast of perfume, it threw itself over me, made me do it. But I wasn't greedy in my wild and mad theft. I chose one blossom. I twisted and pulled, but the stem wouldn't snap off. Until in a fit of instancy, I yanked with both hands. Then, in a tremulous sigh of surrender, the singular beauty bowed like a rose-lit prima ballerina, fluttered dreamily on one long, wedded leg, and flung out and off her tutu froth thousands of pink water sequins. And though I was baptized, I thought I was the patron saint of all rose thieves. Even as the thorns bloodied my fingers, I thought I had every right to claim what was yours. Please forgive me. I was petal struck. You've all been to a mall somewhere. Am I better? Yeah. I know, I keep being
It's
here.
all right. That's why I'm here.
And we need you here.
Yeah.
Mall birds. In the parking lot of the shopping mall, the jammed rhythm of a car alarm turns itself off suddenly, as if shushed with a quick Michelangelo finger to the lips. It is uncanny, the unexpected interruption, the pause in sound as shoppers stop slamming car doors, turn off revving motors, how there and then, for a brief, quiet space, the twitter of birds can be heard calling out from green branches of strategically planted shade trees. And birdsong charges the air, chirping, warbling, melody after melody, like blood pumping into and out of a beating tarmac heart. Even as human babble resumes, the birds continue to sing full-throated, a cappella musicalities, a proof of presence, of territory, unheard by mothers scolding, children screaming, giggling young girls screeching. No one hears the songs. No one listens. A plane flies much too low, roars its flight, as birdsong pours sweet sounds into strands of gasoline fumes that rise from parked cars as song vapors. No matter. The songs teach musical calls, continuance, and the birds sing because simply said, they cannot not. How am I doing time-wise?
You got about 6 or 7. 6.
Tree trimmers. Homeowners Association tree trimmers came with trucks, chainsaws, policies and procedures, bylaws. According to the work order, it was supposed to be only a trim.
Oh.
Yelling over the blare of their radios, they cut down tree trunks, their felled branches in full flower, alive, breathing. Torrid tangles of glistening green sprung with nests, hauled off to the local dump. Now the afternoon hush is brittle, a great silence lingers, as an afterthought, a memory of song, a feathered rustle. The air left behind has emptied itself of birds in a swirl like a giant bathroom sink. Yes, against a sky clotted blue. One songbird who has stopped any form of singing circles and squawks, circles and flaps, cries out a rasp call that sounds as if razors were grinding in her throat. And I'm going to finish now because I always finish with this same poem. It's attached itself to me. You know the one yeah. And if I don't read it, somebody, I really wish you would have read that umbrella poem. So I just read it anyway. And each time I enjoy it just as much. It's called Not My Umbrella, or it could be called The Umbrella Poem. I think I left my umbrella at that Irish bar last night. Black with a small rip, silver shaft, cracked black handle. Didn't bring it home. Brought him home though. Out of his mind with drink, singing, spouting Celtic poetry just for tonight, I told him as they escorted us from the pub. And I want you gone by morning. I issued my prerequisite, spending a ridiculous amount of time giggling, looking for the key, then for the lock. This morning's weather report calls for rain. The bartender empties out the lost and found cardboard box, some eyeglasses, one gray woolen glove, 3 lighters. There is one black umbrella, but it isn't mine. I hesitate. want to be honest. This one is unripped, silver dragon handle, newer, more expensive. For the love of God, woman, he says, take the damn thing, winking gold freckles in his green eyes. I grabbed the umbrella, claimed the damn thing that is not mine. The other umbrella hadn't been mine either, nor the one before that, nor you. I step outside in the continuance of my hangover, the newness of rain. Umbrellas open all around me, reflect the darkening sky. Wild black morning glories hang upside down from thousands of silvered threads. I return to you, probably still sleeping in my bed, probably waiting for me to cook you breakfast. Here I go again, another damn Irishman. Each time I lose one of you, another tribesman turns up in your place. Just like something being returned. Not quite what was lost, but once again, mine.
Eileen Malone! Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to take like a 5-minute or 6-minute break, and then I would like to say, tell the people who are coming up in the second half. Almost everybody in the first half were very generous with their time going short. So I hope you continue that. That helps everybody get on. I like that. But we have a great second half. We got Buford, we got Sharon Scott Kish, David Zeltzer, Rob, David E., Tommy, Amy. We got just Antoinette, Shen, Greg, Hal. We got bunches of people in there. Don't want to read them all because then they'll say, you didn't read my name. And I missed a few people, but you know. It's a great second half, so hang around. When this goes off, we'll get started again. And Mr. Sandero will be issuing the call because he is the last word, as we like to say.
And he's the first word.
The first word. First, you know, I should go out the first and last word. You know, that's what I should maybe think about changing that.
Yeah, it's getting better, I think. But it's still
I saw you draw.
Yeah.